Hi and welcome back to the AQA GCSE History Conflict and Tension between East and West of 1945 to 1972 revision series. This is episode 4 and we're looking at tension in Asia. The early tensions which had developed in Europe after the Second World War soon led to the superpowers supporting opposite sides in various conflicts in Asia, including Korea, where it's divided into North and South in 1948, in China, where it became communist after the revolution in 1949, where the Soviet Union signed a treaty with China in 1950, and finally Vietnam, which was originally under French control, but it withdrew this in 1954, when communist forces gained control of North Vietnam. China became a communist state in 1949, which led to the increase in tension between the superpowers. Chinese occupation of China ended in 1945. The civil war restarted between the communists and nationalists in China. The USA supported the nationalists even though they were unpopular and had poor leadership. By 1949, the communist leader Mao Zedong succeeded, and the most populous country in the world was now under communist rule. In February of 1950, the USSR signed a treaty of friendship with China. In the United States, communism was now feared even more. Truman's policy of containment had failed in Asia. In the UN, the USA influenced and refused to recognize the new communist leadership. The USSR protested by boycotting the US security control. In 1948, Korea was divided into two different countries. South Korea was an anti-communist state and was supported by American forces. Additionally, this area of Korea wasn't ruled very democratically. North Korea was a communist dictatorship, which was closely supported by the Soviet Union and China. In June of 1950, there was an invasion. Both the North and South claimed that the whole country was theirs, and in 1950, North Korea invaded the South, and most of the South was quickly taken over. In July of 1950, the UN got involved. The United States of America suggested that the UN should intervene to help the South. This would have been vetoed by the USSR, but they were boycotting the UN. The resolution passed without opposition. In September of 1950, the UN invaded. The UN forces were made mostly of American troops, but there were also other countries such as Britain who were sent over to fight against the communist North. The UN forces were led by American General MacArthur. The Korean War was the first example where the invasion between East and West were played out in physical conflict. Both the superpowers used conflicts to experiment with their new weapons, such as advanced jet aircrafts and faster tanks. The war quickly became a stalemate, and a peace treaty was eventually signed in 1953. The UN had proved that it could take effective action, although it could only do this since the USSR was boycotting the UN. The USSR returned to its seat in the UN Security Council and was careful not to miss any other important votes. Between 1945 and 1954, Vietnam was under control by France, but the group of communist fighters known as the Viet Cong rebelled against the French rule. The United States provided financial aid to France to fight the communists. In 1954, the French removed their control in Vietnam, and temporarily Vietnam was divided into North and South. America continued to send aid to the anti-communist South Vietnam. The North was supported by the Soviet Union and China. So as part of the AQA exam board, they offer the opportunity for schools to choose different topics that they can study in history, and another topic that they can choose is conflict and tension in Asia, which looks quite deeply into the conflicts in Korea, China and Vietnam that we've looked at just now. And if you want to find out a bit more detail about them and understand them a bit more, then go ahead and look at that revision series, which is also on my channel. But obviously you won't need to know it is in much detail, it just might help you understand it a little more. But that is, for now, the end of episode 4 of the AQA GCSE History Conflict and Tension between East and West of 1945 to 1972 revision series. Next episode we'll be looking at the arms race. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed.